Today I want to share a topic that quite literally transformed my life, and it's how to handle the fear of putting yourself out there and pursuing your dreams. Now, you likely have a dream inside of yourself, and if you clicked on this video, you probably feel some level of hesitation or maybe even downright fear over it. You could be worried about what your friends and family will think. Maybe you're worried about the reactions of strangers on the internet, or that the whole thing is going to be this epic public humiliation and the greatest regret of your life. You could fall anywhere along that spectrum. And really, these fears are universal among every person with a dream. Every person who feels some sort of yearning deep inside of themselves. But few people are ever taught how you actually successfully get over this. How do you handle this fear of rejection from the world? That's what we'll be covering today. I started this channel to share the spiritual lessons and ancient wisdom that are no longer taught in our society. In some cases, they were lost, or in others, they were intentionally removed, largely to limit the power and growth opportunities for individuals. But our society and our world at large is struggling so much right now. And I personally feel that this is largely because people are no longer taught how you successfully handle these universal, profound, oftentimes painful experiences of life. We're largely left to just flail around and hope for the best. And that can be scary and painful and lead to a lot of difficult mistakes. And I certainly have had my own experiences with this. And this video is not going to be some Pollyanna tale where I just tell you to keep your chin up and everything's going to be perfect and easy. That wasn't my experience. Previously, I had a job as an executive in Silicon Valley, and I had a very comfortable life. It was very safe. I was kind of guaranteed on this career track. Everything was fine. The problem was I had a completely different dream for my life. And I tried my level best to ignore it for longer than I care to admit, because I was scared. I didn't know how this dream was even feasible. I didn't know what it would look like to leave everything behind that I'd worked so hard to attain. And I was really unsure of how the world would react. I didn't know if there was even any interest, if people cared, because my dream was to teach people the spiritual lessons that I had been taught by my dad that changed my life for the better. But then I was taught the lesson that I'm going to teach you today, and it changed everything for me. And though I faced a lot of difficulties making these changes and completely transforming my life, I did obviously leave the corporate job. I had to go through huge changes to do all of that and completely change career paths and become self-employed, become an entrepreneur. A lot happened. But also a lot of the fears that many of us feel about stepping out and living authentically and being ourselves, a lot of those came true for me. I had no social media, I had no audience, I had no safety net, no fallback plan. And so when I first started, I was quite literally posting videos day in, day out to an audience of zero. And I was trying to teach spiritual lessons to crickets. No one cared, no one was watching. And occasionally I would get strangers on the internet reaching out, telling me horrendously cruel things about myself, or that they wished I wasn't alive anymore. I received all of the judgment and shame and condemnation from people who I thought were friends. I had people telling me I was an idiot and that I had just ruined my life and that I should go back to Silicon Valley and just cash paychecks for the rest of my life. So it was tough. And I think it's tough for everyone. Every single person who tries to live authentically and really follow the dream that was placed in their heart. There's not a hack or a shortcut, but there are ways to successfully deal with it. And there are ways to understand what's happening in the world that others around you will not know. And I think that can be very, very helpful for anyone who is genuine about pursuing their path in life. At the end of the day, it's largely that judgment that judgment from the world, whether it's from strangers on the internet or from your friends and family or colleagues. But that judgment and the fear of it and of social rejection is enough to stop people all over the world from pursuing what they dream of. It's wild to think that today there are inventions and potentially even life-saving cures that do not exist because somewhere someone was too afraid to pursue what they were interested in. They were too afraid of how the world would react to their wild or crazy idea, so they didn't go after it, and we now don't have the benefit of their contribution to the world. And it's that realization that none of us actually honestly know how our dream contributes to the larger fabric of life. We couldn't possibly know. And you may say, well, my dream is to build something or to bake something or to write this piece of music. And maybe you don't realize how big that could be for the world because you don't honestly know how that piece of music or that meal or that building, whatever it is, you don't know how it's going to touch or inspire other people. You could have just a complete stranger see you in the flow, in the moment, doing your thing. And they could be so inspired that they go out and cure cancer. I don't know. None of us know. But you don't have a dream placed in your heart for no reason. I do know that. And it is to contribute to the world. It's not just for our benefit, it's to help others. But so many people allow themselves, they stop themselves from pursuing that and from making these gigantic contributions to the world out of fear. But why does that even happen? Why, when you put yourself out there, and it seems to be about universal, why do you receive cruelty? What's actually happening at a deeper level? Like, why are people cruel? Why do they try to dissuade you, shame you, guilt you, whatever, from doing what you feel is right for you? And most importantly, what do you do about it? There are 2 steps that you have to start taking immediately if that happens to you. And I'll teach them to you in just a moment. But first, you need to learn about a fisherman. There was a fisherman who decided to take his son out with him one day. It was a fun father-son bonding experience. And in addition to fishing, he also enjoyed crabbing. So he thought, well, I'll bring my son out with me. We'll go pick up the crab pots and then we'll go back, have crab dinner with the family. And so they go out in their little fishing boat and they get the crab pots and they're just packed full of crabs, all clawing and climbing over each other. And the dad and the son take the boat back and they tie up to the dock. And the son is having a blast. He loves watching his dad in his element. And the dad, being the hero, lifts one of the full crab pots and he dumps all the crabs into a metal pail. And the son is oohing and aahing, watching these crabs click and snap at each other. And it's a really nice moment until the son starts shrieking. And the dad looks, panicked, the son got caught in some of the pinchers. But instead, the son is yelping and saying, "Dad, come quick, this is horrible." They're getting away. And the dad comes over and he sees that one of the crabs has climbed up on top of all the others. He grabbed the edge of the pail and he's pulling himself up over the edge. And he is so close to getting free. And presumably, he's just a few steps away from the edge of the water and he would just jump right back into the sea. But the dad is calm and he kneels down next to the son and he said, "We don't have to worry about anything. The others will take care of this. They will make sure that no one gets free." And the son was confused. He said, "Why would they do that?" And the dad explained that crabs, when they see one of their own getting free, something in their DNA tells them that they shouldn't follow the path to freedom that their friend just made for them. Because they could watch the way their friend goes and say, "Oh, that's how you live better. That's how you get out of this." And they could have just followed his exact steps. But they don't do that. When they see someone trying to get free, instead of following in their path, they all collectively, without a word spoken, reach up and they grab onto that freedom finder's shell and they rip them backwards. And in that way, the crabs in the bucket make sure that no one finds freedom and they all suffer together. And we see that same behavior, that crab mentality, in humans today. Now, it takes so much courage to live authentically, to follow your passions, no matter how odd, unusual, weird they are. It takes bravery and strength to do that. Mostly because the path to following your heart is never an easy gold-lined path that tells you exactly what to do at every step. Never. It's messy, confusing, uncertain, risky. You never know if you are betting all the chips on something that's going to be the biggest failure of your life. You just don't know. And it's, some would say, exciting at times because you're taking the adventure of a lifetime. But you're putting yourself at risk because of that crab mentality. Because when you take those brave steps, when you start even taking one step towards what you want to do with your life, you start to radiate out courage. That you are willing to face your fears. And that courage radiating off of you touches people who have not listened to their own hearts. And it feels searingly painful to those who abandon their own dreams out of fear. And it reminds them of all the times they betrayed themselves, of all the times they ignored their calling and ignored their dream. And the irony is that those people, the crabs in the bucket, largely they ignored their dreams and turned their back on what their heart was calling them to do because they were afraid of the reaction from others. So instead of living authentically, they became the very thing they feared the most. So many people, I mean by the millions, have bought into a lie. They tell themselves that somehow it's safer to be the poison instead of the hero. So if you have a dream, if you have some calling in your heart that you are pursuing, and if you have people, I shouldn't say if, when people start to shame you, judge you, dissuade you, or pull you off your path, because it will happen to everyone. Here are the two things that you need to do immediately. The first one, congratulate yourself. You, my friend, are the crab getting free from the bucket, and you are terrifying the people who were too scared to live their own lives. Don't take it personally. Celebrate it happening. It only means that you are actually living. You are finding freedom. Do not take it personally. Do not let it hurt your feelings. Make it a point of celebration in your life. It's a milestone to hit. And the second step is you have one decision that you're going to have to make. And you're going to have to make this choice every single day for the rest of your life. If you choose to pursue your dreams, this one choice will have to be made every single morning when you open your eyes in bed. It's going to have to be made again and again every hour of your workday, and every time you feel tired, frustrated, unmotivated, or fearful. And it's this. Are you going to obey the fear that tore down dreams of all the people before you? Or are you going to change the world? People are going to come from everywhere to try to dissuade you, to try to scare you or guilt you. And the universe allows this because it's testing your resolve. It's testing you. How committed are you to this dream? Are you doing it because it just could be fun? Or are you going to give your whole 100% all into it? Are you going to really live and try and just dive headfirst into your dream, not knowing if it's going to work? Or are you just going to kind of do it and play it safe? Because if you do, you won't win in the end. No one does. The only people who win are the ones who commit. So you're going to have to keep making the choice over and over, like we all do. Is today the day that you break and bend and give in to fear? Or is today the day that you keep going and you try something incredible with your life? You bring forward the dream that was placed in you for a reason. The world needs you. That's a simple truth. It needs your unique contribution just like it needs mine and it needs everybody else's. When you stand up and actually try, it contributes to life, yes, but it also inspires other people to try. It reminds people the power of going headfirst even if you are uncertain. Even if it means making big changes in your life like I had to. It inspires hope. And that's what the world needs. We need more people who are willing to live for something, to uphold the light in the world when it's constantly being dimmed. People who still keep their heart open despite how cruel strangers can be. You're going to have to find the bravery to do that, and you get that bravery by taking the first step. And you're going to have to take the second step tomorrow, but you don't have to worry about that. That's not your responsibility. Just worry about today and take one step forward. It'll make you a bit braver, a bit stronger, a bit more confident, and that's the juice that you need to handle tomorrow's challenge. You just take it one step at a time. You don't have to have every single thing planned out and solutioned today. Today, you just have to decide. Are you going to live like the crabs in the bucket? Or are you going to stand up for what's inside of you? And above all else, if you take nothing else from this video, let it just be this. Do not let the reactions of people who abandon their own dreams out of fear stop you from living your life.